First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances at a check. Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros, though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embraced the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Almost dancing there, Barry.
Yeah.
Such is your enthusiasm for this radio programme,
I'm a very enthusiastic man.
You are, yes. 24/7.
Yeah.
You're always on.
Fabled for my enthusiasm.
Yeah, welcome, everybody. This is the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning with you until 1:30 this afternoon. We've still got that half hour. We can't do anything to shake it.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do. We're stuck with it. We keep trying. How are you?
I'm okay, Max. Yeah. Can't complain. I think you're about to complain, but I can't really complain.
Well, you can complain, can you?
I don't want to. No one wants to hear my minor grumbles.
But this is a minor grumble. I would class this under minor grumbles. But you have
minor or major?
No, this is a minor grumble, I think. Okay. I suppose the question is, Barry, how important do you think this show is to the radio station talkSPORT? How integral are we to the output of this excellent and historic radio station?
I think my role in life is very unimportant. What we do is not important.
This isn't important. You're absolutely right.
Now, in the context of being part of this famous old radio station's output, it is of some significance, because if we weren't here, somebody else would be here, or else there would just be 2.5 hours of dead air.
Yeah. And some people would prefer that.
Some people would prefer that. Of that, there is no doubt.
Yeah.
But we are here. I don't really take an interest in stuff like the Rajars. I don't know how many people listen to this.
Yeah, it's upwards of 7.
I don't know how many people listen to this compared to other shows. I believe we're quite popular.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
But the thing is, you wonder is maybe they've just forgotten about us. So we're hidden away. I don't know if they're proud of us. You brought to my attention this. We have spoken about, you not being on the jingle. That's fine. When you come out of the lift, there's a big photo of it sort of flashes up all the talkSPORT hosts.
Yeah.
But we are conspicuous by our absence.
Yeah, we're not on it.
Right. Now, in the office, which means nothing to you because, not you, Barry, but you, the listener, because you're not in the office. But on the wall, they have a kind of team, sort of shirts on the wall, and then magnets where your name could be put up, and they can replace different presenters with different people. I don't know who is doing that. People have things to do, but it's a bit of magnet fun.
Yeah, so it's like shirts hanging in the dressing room, names on the backs of the shirts, and the names are all on magnets.
They're all on magnets for when some teenager in the office wants a bit of downtime and he wants to substitute Paul Hawksby for Gabby Agbonlahor.
Yes.
That's it. Then he can get on with his day. But we looked at the magnets, didn't we?
Yeah, because they've recently been replaced.
They've been replaced. Now,
and updated.
They have been the magnets have been updated, everybody. We've had a magnet update. It's big. Can I read you who some of the people... I'll read you all the magnets.
Okay.
Okay, because this is good cross-promotion for other talkSPORT shows. Cundy, Saunders, Fletcher, Bent, White, Baker.
All big names.
Big names. Parler, Groves, Murphy, Crook. Pardew, Ashton, Jordan, Pierce, Goldstein, Hawksby, Shanahan, Sanderson, O'Hara, Pennant, Woozencroft, Majestic, Jennings, Deeney, Jacobs, Ahern, Brazil, Townsend, McCoist, Agbonlahor, Stelling, Ellard, Oladipo, Sawyer, Catterall, Cole, Oliver, Ambrose, Keown, Clink. Do you notice anybody missing from that exhaustive list of people?
It is a very exhaustive list.
They've gone through everyone.
Everyone?
Yeah.
But there are two conspicuous absentees.
Even Charlie got on.
Yeah.
Normally he's with us. What have you done, Charlie? Normally you are also forgotten. Not even, do you know the funny thing is?
What?
Before the update, there was a magnet of me. Is this how you find out? Could somebody make us a magnet?
Now, I thought maybe we're so special
right,
that we're getting like bespoke gold plate magnets with our names written in,
embossed.
Jewels,
okay.
Diamonds.
Yeah, okay.
And they're just not ready yet.
That's highly possible, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I'm clinging to.
Do you think they're ashamed of us?
Quite possibly.
Are you ashamed to listen to this? The question 81089. Are you thinking...
I think a lot of people are ashamed of me, Max.
I'm not ashamed of you.
Okay,
well, and I think I probably spend more time with you than anyone else.
But so if talkSPORT are ashamed of us or of me, they can join the back of a very long queue.
But if there are any magnet makers,
yes,
how you make a magnet. But if you could deliver send them to talkSPORT.
Yeah, so it needs to be about a foot long.
Come on, let's ask for enormous magnets.
big, massive magnets.
If you could make 2 A3 magnets with Rushden and Glendenning, and we'll just stick them on anything.
Yeah.
Then they come in the office. That would be great. Ian's been in touch. Hi, Max and Barry. I'm home in Nottingham visiting friends as a QPR fan, waxing lyrical in the pub last night about our match winner, Harvey Vale. To which one of the lads replied, Harvey Vale sounds like a rough Nottingham suburb. You want to be careful around Harvey Vale tonight. Been a lot of trouble there recently. Any other footballers you can think of that sound like a rough part of town? Because obviously you have the Dewsbury Halls of this world, the country estate footballers. We haven't really gone down the dodgy part of town. The dodgy estate part of football. But we'd like them, please. If you can match Harvey Vale, there's been some trouble in Harvey Vale. The hoodlums were out in Harvey Vale last night. 81089, please, at Max Rushden. Penguinland says the Magnets, most underrated band of the punk era. Maybe they were, I don't know.
I'm not familiar with their
I'm not sure. Footballers that sound like the rough part of town. We'll take those, please, today. 81089. And of course, if you're a magnet maker, AI can't do that, can it? I bet it can.
It can.
Do you reckon? I will take an AI magnet. Why not? 81089 at Max Rushden if you want to get in touch. Now, in the WSL, Chelsea play Leicester today, and Ian Abrahams is there for talkSPORT. Moose, nice to have you on. Now, obviously, you've got the team news, and you can do that a bit later because we wanted to talk about Matt Beard and the really sad news of his passing yesterday. And you were very close to Matt, weren't you? So these things can be quite difficult to talk about, and we really appreciate you coming on to talk about a friend of yours when the news is so sudden and so recent.
Yeah, Matt was a brilliant football manager. He took a lot of pride and loved the job that he did, and he was successful at it as well. I mean, actually started off as an estate agent before he moved into helping out a place like Charlton, then got the job at Millwall. And it was really after a spell at Chelsea, 3 years actually at Chelsea in the early 2010s, that he moved to Liverpool in 2012, and that was where he really had success. Back-to-back WSL titles, Manager of the Year, actually won 2 Manager of the Year titles, and then he moved to America and then back to West Ham, where he took a fledgling West Ham team to an FA Cup final. He'd taken Chelsea to a cup final previously to that, but in 2019 he took West Ham to the cup final, and it was early in his tenure at West Ham that I actually first met Matt. It was Sunday afternoon, didn't have anything to do, so I thought I'll go down to Chapel Heath and I'll watch the West Ham women's team. Manager was Matt Beard, and you know, in those days you could get a little bit closer to players and managers than you can, let's say, today. And after the match, I was just sitting in one of the porter cabins where actually the players and the managers came in to have their post-match meals or what have you. And Matt came and sat next to me, introduced himself. We had a cup of tea and coffee, and from that day onwards, we stayed in touch. Pretty much up until his passing yesterday, and you know, we often spoke about maybe doing a podcast together. We spoke a lot about football. Through Matt, I met his brother and know his brother Mark, and his nephew Sam, who's a non-league player, was at Worthing last season. And yeah, I mean, it was absolutely devastating to hear of his passing yesterday, because he really was, you know, a pioneer of men and women's football.
And Moose, was he a nice man to deal with, and was he held in very high regard in women's football circles?
Oh, massively. I mean, he was a great guy to deal with. He really was. It's a phrase often used in football: never get too high when you win, never get too low when you lose. And he was very much like that. I remember interviewing him on the pitch at Wickham after West Ham had beaten Reading to reach the FA Cup final. They won on penalties, and you know, the players couldn't believe it. They were dancing around, and people like Gilly Faraty and Kate Longhurst. It was incredible for them, and you always know when a manager is well thought of because players follow them around. And someone like, you know, Gilly and Claire Rafferty played for him at Chelsea, and then played for him at Liverpool, and then played for him at West Ham. So you know, you always know that's always a really good sign for me of a manager who's held in respect by his players. But he was quite happy that day just to sort of let his players have the spotlight, knowing the achievement of getting West Ham to a cup final at Wembley. And you only have to look at the outpouring of tributes on social media. Never normally a massively good barometer for humanity, but I have to say, in the last 12 hours, every club, not only that he's managed, but other clubs too, the Football Association, but normal people who he met, people who he knew or maybe met him after games, have said such lovely things about him. It will be no consolation to his family today, of course not. And, you know, my heart goes out to Debbie, his wife, and his kids, Harry, his brother Mark, to say. But, yeah, you look at the tributes that have been said to him on social media, Barry, and I think you'll get a feeling for how well the man was thought of.
And Villa Liverpool being postponed today in the WSL.
And Burnley have called off their game. He'd been working at Burnley. They've called off their game. Chelsea are playing obviously here. West Ham are playing down at Crawley. Certainly here we're going to have wreaths laid in respect of Matt. There'll be a minute's silence and black armbands too. But you know, it is a very sad day for women's football. The passing of Matt Beard, definitely.
Thanks, Moose. Ian Abrams there, friend of Matt Beard. Very sad news that he's died at the age of 47. You're listening to the warm-up on talkSPORT. Morning, this is the warm-up on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Jeff writes, "Hi Max and Barry, I'm driving my daughter to Exeter. She wants to know why a sports show is focusing on magnets. I can't answer that." That's a very good point. Paul says, "I'd rather tell people I've been painting roundabouts than admit to people that I listen to this show." That's very kind of you. Morning, guys, says Rob. Rob, the Arsenal fan. As Barry said, our output is significant. The sound froze on my phone. So I think reception dropped. I genuinely thought the big bosses had pulled the plug on you. I was waiting for an official announcement that the next 2 hours would be filled by H&J, the golden years. Oh, they would be good, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
On the subject of Harvey Vale, who scored the winner for QPR, and one listener, Ian, thinking it sounded like a dodgy part of town. A lot of people have got in touch to say you don't want to go down Clint Hill after dark.
Oh, yeah.
That is all right. No, avoid that if you can. Anyway, let's do a Premier League review.
Max and Barry's Premier League review on talkSPORT.
Dan, the Birmingham fan in Peterborough, says, "Hi, Max and Barry. You crack me up every Sunday. Thanks very much. I've heard the locals don't go out in Solly March after dark, becoming a no-go area. Keep those coming, please. Anyway, yeah, don't go near Rob Green on a Saturday night," says this one. "I got chased out of Perry Groves by a bunch of angry gingers in flat caps," says Chris in Oxted. Should we start at Anfield?
Yeah, why not? This was the 247th Merseyside derby.
Okay.
What were your top 20?
My top 20. Do you know what? My favourite one might be that FA Cup final where Stuart McCall scored twice. I think Liverpool still won. Was it 3-2? Was that a final?
I never remember Stuart McCall scoring twice in an FA Cup final. It's just not to say it didn't happen.
Who remembers better? I'd always trust mine over yours.
Okay.
I think he scored one sort of slow volley from the edge of the box that sort of nestled in the bottom right-hand corner. Maybe the other FA Cup final where Ian Rush scored the grandstand camera goal.
Okay.
That's up with that. I loved the Tarkovsky equaliser last season.
Yeah, the bloke with the corner flag.
Yeah, the bloke with the corner flag. It's a good question. Yours?
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Their 89 FA Cup final, McCall scored two. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So I apologise, Stuart.
That's okay. He's on the top of a car having a while of a time. Don't worry about it. That Ryan Gravenberch finish is so brilliant. Like he's taken it so early, the ball hasn't even got there yet. I think you can't underestimate the brilliance of that finish.
Yeah, it was a splendid finish. The run was great. The delivery was it from Salah?
Yeah.
The ball over the top.
Did I say you can't underestimate? Maybe you can't overstate.
Okay,
but
right.
My apologies.
Well, I know what you mean.
Pedants.
I know what you mean.
I know you do.
A wonderful, wonderful finish. Like you say, it's almost he knew where it was going to bounce up and anticipated, and he was really stretching as well. And to get it over Pickford the way he did was an incredible finish. Really, really good goal. And his assist for the second Liverpool goal as well was superb. I was shocked to learn yesterday he's only 22.
I know.
Ryan Gravenberch. And someone said to me he's on his way to becoming one of the world's best defensive midfielders. And I was thinking, well, I can't think of too many who are better than him already.
And quite a good attacking midfielder, as it turns out as well. Yeah, he was brilliant. You're right. The pass to Ekitike, brilliant as well. I mean, I thought what was interesting about this game was that Everton were actually quite good. I think we expected Everton to be quite good. They're quite good going forward. They didn't really, after they scored, they just didn't really. I'm trying to think if they had a moment. You know, you think 2-1, okay, game on now.
I mean, they weren't good until they went 2-0 down. And then Liverpool obviously have this reputation now for throwing away 2-goal leads. So when Everton Everton really got a foothold in the game and started to dominate the game after Liverpool had gone 2-0 up, and particularly in the second half. Much has been made of Everton's stately home, Kieran Dewsbury Hall, getting a yellow card for taking a free kick too quickly.
Yeah, Grealish was so funny post-match,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
he really was. And Grealish hadn't realised he'd been booked after the final whistle for having a go at the ref for booking Kieran Dewsbury Hall for taking a free kick too quickly. And I was half expecting, during his post-match interview, for the ref to come over and give him a second one, followed by a red.
Do you know, I don't know if the law is right. But if that's because sometimes you blame the ref and you should blame the law. But it's just.
Well, I think what a lot of people don't realise is he'd already been warned
not to take it
5 to 10 minutes previously for doing the exact same thing.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that a lot of people aren't aware of that, but it had happened. Between 5 and 10 minutes previously, he tried to take a quick free kick. Darren England
is against quick free kicks,
but I don't see the problem in taking a quick free kick.
No, I don't. But Darren England does.
Yeah. And of course, Grealish also had a big problem with the short amount of added time. There was only 3 minutes added time. But some of the slower free kicks, which Darren England is all in favour of, they were taking up to 3 minutes to get walls sorted out and people having discussions, Liverpool trying to slow the game down. But it was a decent-ish performance from Everton, but they lost and Liverpool were hanging on at the end, though.
But I think credit to Slot for... He wanted to bring in a proper right back against Grealish. So then he had a choice to make about, and he wanted to bring McAllister back in. And so then he had a choice about trying to get Wirtz in. And there's always a pressure, I think, to play anyone who's cost £100 million. And it was a smart thing to bring in McAllister, who is physical, and to play a proper right back in Bradley. I actually thought Robertson might start over Kirker. So I think Slot pretty much got his team right. But, you know, I just thought the way Grealish talks about the game is brilliant. And, you know, he has when he'll get a magnet, I'll say that straight away, because he talks about the game in just exactly like a fan, just the way he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? I just really, really enjoyed that.
He played very well again.
He did play really well.
And Iliman, I think Grealish's good performances are sort of taking the spotlight off Iliman and Dye, but he's really good too. Like, Everton have two great wide players.
Yeah, and actually the way Dye set up just a gay for that was really smart play. Not everyone does that. Should we do Man United Chelsea?
Oh yeah,
that was fun, wasn't it? You did think, right? Nobody can be as daft in this game as Robert Sanchez after he did that after however many minutes. And then Casemiro was even dafter, right? Because you're just like, the one thing you do, and I know Man United won, but the one thing you do when you're playing against 10 men is not go down to 10 men.
Yeah.
And like the Sanchez challenge is hilarious. I mean, it's a terrible challenge in the end. You know, if an outfield player does it, you would be like, because he catches him really high.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue, and I don't think it makes any difference.
It was wet.
He did actually get the ball.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He got the ball before he got Mbeumo's leg, but I don't think that matters.
Looked like he got a lot of it.
Oh, he did. He did get the ball.
Okay.
You have me second guessing myself again now, but
I'm the one who remembered Stuart McCall in the FA Cup final.
Yeah, I did rewind because he's got the ball there,
okay.
but I don't think that matters if it's still a dangerous tackle.
Great shot of Maresca, you know, as the challenge is made. Just there in the rain going, oh, God. You know, he had the look of someone who, you know, that view was a bit like a man who'd been fishing for 8 hours from 2 a.m, wasn't it? That was the most he looked like his dad, I think, Maresca, at that moment. But then for Casemiro to get sent off in this game, you're thinking, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Silly.
First tackle, totally unnecessary. I thought the second yellow was a little bit harsh, but you don't give the ref a decision to make, as they say. No. I also thought Mark Cucurella was incredibly lucky not to have Chelsea down to 9 men before Casemiro got sent off. That tackle was savage and definitely a red. Like, that has to be a red card.
I suppose if he does get the ball, but he jumps in, doesn't he? He really did jump in. But, you know, he's an easy player to dislike unless he plays for your team. That's the, you know, how you feel about Cucurella. But I don't know. Is that crisis over for Manchester United? Crisis on to Chelsea?
So.
Are they both in crisis?
I mean, what did you make of Maresca's substitutions after the red card? So Sanchez gets sent off, so he has to bring on Jorgensen to play in goal. He takes off Estevao, and then he takes off Neto as well, so he can bring on an extra centre half in Tosin. And I think at some point he should have. Then I think on 21 minutes he brought on Cole Palmer because his groin was at him. But yeah, they took all the pace and width out of the team, and he did say after the game, as soon as the red card came out, the whole game plan went in the bin. But he didn't seem to have a plan B.
In another bin.
Yeah.
No. Matt says, I wasn't aware Dewsbury Hall had been previously warned, Barry. Thank you. Great insight. Keep it up. That's why people come to this programme, don't they? Anyway, we'll do more Premier League review in just a second. It is Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning on the warm-up here until 1:30.
It's not often you associate fan power with Chelsea Football Club, but one of the shining examples of it lies with a group called the Chelsea Pitch Owners. And they've proved to be the thorn in the side of owners past and present who've been dead set on moving stadiums to a larger, more lucrative piece of land. Essentially, the supporters group holds the freehold to the land on which Stamford Bridge sits. Former owner Ken Bates set it up at a time where some unruly property developers tried to evict the club from their ground. In order to prevent this, he established the CPO as a company that owned the pitch and offered the fans the chance to buy a share for £100. As well as that, they also own the rights to the name Chelsea Football Club, so if any owner wants to take them elsewhere, they can't be called Chelsea without the approval from the CPO. Now, in 2011, Roman Abramovich tried and failed to move them away from Stamford Bridge, and this has set a precedent for Todd Bowley and the current power brokers at Chelsea. They know any plan which involves moving from Stamford Bridge will require CPO approval from the now 13,000 fans who own it. There are fans who are concerned that if they stay at the Bridge, they'll be left behind their domestic and European rivals who are moving to more commercially successful stadiums. But for the heritage and history lovers, Stamford Bridge is one of the iconic English stadiums, and to move away would be a grave mistake. It might not be as flashy as others, but stadiums like it have something about them that cannot be replaced. One thing's for sure, if Burnley wants to take Chelsea away from their home, he'll have to go through the CPO first.
Cities like this need games like this. In towards the right, Ekatike through the legs of the goalkeeper, and he scores. Of course he does. Liverpool beat Everton at Anfield for the 5th time in a row.
West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 2, and wow, what a goal from Tyreek Mitchell.
Burnley 1, Nottingham Forest 1. I've just been singing his praises, but Alexander Zinchenko has scored an unfortunate own goal.
It's Wolves 1, Leeds 3. Remember, Wolves were ahead early in this game, but Leeds have been running riot since then.
You said there was going to be another goal. It's just hit the back of the net. It's all square, Alex Crook.
Just call me Mystic Crookie. 2-0 down after 31 minutes. Spurs, well, they've still got time to go on and win this. Brighton 2, Tottenham 2.
It is a red card and it's gone to Robert Sanchez, the Chelsea goalkeeper. 10v10 now. Manchester United 2, Chelsea 0. What a game of football. The Blues go away with nothing. It's finished at Old Trafford. Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1.
And we will finish it on the banks of the Thames. 2 West London clubs. Sessignon is forward to cross, and it's a looping header, an own goal by Pinnock. Fulham are the cream of the crop in West London. Fulham 3, Brentford 1.
Gone across the streams, Barry, but yes, I laughed heartily when your favourite player of all time, Ethan Pinnock, scored that own goal.
Poor old Ethan.
It was just like the Leeds one at Fulham. You know, twice now Fulham have got goals by just an opposition player standing still and the ball hitting them in the head and going in.
But it didn't even hit Ethan on the head, it hit him on his shoulder and went in. And he looked very, very sad and crestfallen afterwards, as you would.
Yeah. But a good win for Fulham, all in all, wasn't it? Nice finish from Harry Wilson.
Good win for Fulham. I must say, I didn't watch this game live because I'd already seen 2 games yesterday, and I conscientiously object to football being played, Premier League football being played at 8 o'clock on a Saturday.
I agree with you.
So, but I did see it on Match of the Day this morning, and it was a very good win for Fulham. But they will still finish 11th. No matter how many games they win or lose, they will finish 11th.
Daniel says Max trying to quietly jump off the Ange wagon is shameless. I don't know where that's come from. But yeah, we could do that game if you want. Forestry 1-1 at Burnley. What did you make of that one?
I thought it was a better game than the scoreline suggested. I think it could have gone either way. I think Scott Parker was bang on when he said a draw was fair. I can see what Ange is trying to do with Forest already, and I'm like a tactical idiot, but it's quite obvious. Get players forward, play more attacking football. The goal they conceded...
Lovely hit from Nico Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the one they conceded, the own goal, sorry.
Yeah, the own goal. Zinchenko. I think, was that his Forest debut? I'm not sure, but... yeah, it looked bad.
It does. Well, I love any goal where the ball goes in incredibly slowly.
Yeah.
So everybody can see what's going to happen, but no one can do anything.
Yeah.
They always give me great pleasure. So Zinchenko had about half an hour of going, this is a problem, but there's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do.
Ange said, we're looking at a different team. We saw elements on Wednesday. I don't think I'm jumping off. Have I jumped off the Ange wagon?
I haven't heard you disparage him since he got the Forest job.
No, but I do think, and we can move on to Tottenham, I do think I'm not sad that Thomas Frank is the Tottenham manager. There was sort of a romantic part of me that wanted Ange to stay, but I think maybe they did make the right call. Frank said that was Tottenham's best performance of the season. Hertzler said they were unlucky, and I saw a lot of positives. So who is right? Or maybe can they both be right?
I think they can both be right. I mean, conceding, going 2-0 down is not indicative of one of your best performances of the season, but Tottenham did very well to come back and get a point. They probably should have won. Brighton, I find very frustrating.
You had them fourth in your predictions.
I did have them fourth, and there was method to that madness. It wasn't as bonkers a prediction as it sounded, insofar as last season I think they only finished 8 points off fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And they left a lot of points behind them at various grounds last season. They didn't beat any of the relegated sides at home. They threw away 22 points from winning positions last season. I thought, they'll stop doing that and they'll finish higher. No, they haven't stopped doing that. They're still throwing away points from winning positions. I thought they played very well at Everton, the first game at Hill Dickinson Stadium, and still lost. So Brighton are a quite frustrating team, but I still reckon they'll come good.
Yeah, I think there are lots of reasons to be positive about Tottenham. I thought they'd really struggle in this game. I thought Xavi Simons looked good. I know you're a big fan of his, and he could have had a couple, but he looks like he fits really well.
Would you have Xavi Simons playing wide or in the middle? I think he's better in the middle.
It's a good question, because I suggested he was a wide attacker when Chelsea were trying to buy him, going, "What, they don't need another wide attacker," and I was loudly poo-pooed.
Oh, he can play.
He can play. He's played more wide than central, where he's been previously. But I think you're right.
The game where he caught my eye was an outstanding performance of his for PSV against Arsenal in the Europa League. And he was playing on the left wing that day.
But good either place. I liked Ayari afterwards when, post-match, you're just trying to tee him up. Was that one of your... It was a great strike. Was that one of your best goals? He went, no, not really. No, I've scored some better ones. Ask a better question.
I think he scored a better one last season. But I can't remember
Was that really late goal? I can't remember the goals of Daniel Ayari. Is he called Daniel? I can't even remember his first name.
Yassin.
Why did I get Daniel? What are you even doing on talkSPORT?
Yassin Ayari.
Well, if I can't
remember what country he plays for?
Switzerland?
Sweden.
Okay, that's pretty good, isn't it?
That's all right.
This is slowly...
You got the first two letters
slowly
right.
meandering into two old men in a pub. Don't know anything.
Waldorf and... Who's Waldorf and who's Statler?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it Graham Potter time? I mean, when publicly, we hear that, the ownership are sounding out new managers, and clearly every club needs to have a plan B, don't they? You need, just in case your manager pops off somewhere else. But are Graham Potter's days numbered? It feels inevitable.
I suspect they are. West Ham fans are very unhappy about a great many things. They had a big protest yesterday, which was very well attended. And the most of their ire seems to be aimed at the board, at Karen Brady, at David Sullivan, and they want them gone. And then when West Ham fans are unhappy, their unhappiness with the stadium in which their team is playing resurfaces, and they are also obviously unhappy with their team's results. Their team cannot defend corners for toffee. I think they've conceded 7 goals this season for corners so far. And there's no real excuse for that. Defending a corner shouldn't be that difficult. Jared Bowen is their only...
He's their only hope. He's Luke Skywalker, isn't
Luke Skywalker, and I suppose up to a point, Lucas Paqueta is C-3PO or...
Is he Han Solo?
Han Solo.
Yeah.
I forgot about Han Solo.
Yeah. Who's Chewie? I mean, they've got some big lads, haven't they? It's Thomas
Suchek.
Thomas Suchek is Chewie.
Thomas Suchek.
Just going... Well, that's a bad Chewbacca impression.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Chewie was suspended yesterday.
Right,
so
okay.
He wasn't able to help out.
Is that the end of your... which one's Jabba the Hutt? We don't go there.
Oh, that'd be me.
Yeah. I mean, they were. I mean, Tyrick Mitchell. You don't expect Tyrick Mitchell to do that.
No,
it was a brilliant finish, wasn't it? But you just sort of think in a game that was a bit meh. There was a bit kind of if you're losing those ones as well as the other games where they've been roundly hammered.
And it probably annoys West Ham that they look at Palace and how content everyone at Palace seems to be. They've a good team, they've a good manager, they've a good ground with a good atmosphere. So they're going, we should be them. You know, that should be us.
Yeah, but they're not.
But no, they're coming up short in every aspect.
Daniel Ayala, ? So there, maybe I got my Ayaris and my Ayalas mixed up. So my apologies to all involved in that.
Well, I referred at one point yesterday to Thomas Gravenberch. And then I was doing a thing on the Guardian website, and someone went, who the hell is Thomas Gravenberch?
Thomas Gravesen.
And that's who I was thinking of, Thomas Gravesen, Everton. He was in my head.
I think that's fair enough. I forgive you.
Thank you.
We apologise to the Ayalas, the Ayaris, the Gravenberches and the Gravesens.
And Thomas Suchek.
And to Chewie, Thomas Chewbacca Suchek. It is Max and Barry here on the warm-up with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. With apologies to Leeds fans. We'll get to that at some point in the next hour or so.
Yeah, Leeds, who I said would not be scoring any good. Too light up front. Their lack of goals is going to kill them. So they proceed to go and get 3 in 40 minutes.
Back in a sec. Sarah says, howling at Sue Backer. Jim says, KWP2 is another, albeit tenuous one, for the West Ham Star Wars characters. Barter Jim says, the Star Wars chat is just footballers as biscuits, isn't it? Come on, everyone's a critic, Jim. Right? I thought it was pretty good stuff. But, can't all be gold, mate, can it? Anyway, let's get the latest odds out of today's action with William Hill.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Lee Phelps joined us. Hey, Lee, you good?
Yeah, really good, thank you. A few made it through. Final One Standing again yesterday. Liverpool were the most picked, so they got through. And quite a lot picked Fulham, actually, as well, last night. So quite a few through, but a few went by the wayside as well, with some tricky fixtures to pick out.
Yeah, it was tricky. You lost out, didn't you? Because you went with Wolves.
I did,
last man
yes.
standing.
I'm not sure why, but...
Their form suggested 0 points. Didn't seem smart. But it was, as you said, Lee, it was a tricky old day yesterday. What have you got for us today?
Yeah, I just on yesterday. I mean, the relegation pitch is the most interesting. I think Burnley still the favourites, the favourites to be relegated at 1-3. Wolves next at 4-9. Then Sunderland, and then West Ham and Brentford are both shorter than Leeds now after yesterday. West Ham 11-8, Brentford 9-4, Leeds 5-2, and then Forest at 7-1. So yeah, a bit of a change there today. Sunderland, of course, in that list, I've just given 12-5 to beat Aston Villa at home, and they've been good at home so far, haven't they? Villa haven't scored a goal in the Premier League so far this season. Scored one in the Cup in midweek, but still went out. I think, Sunderland, with Wilson Isidore scoring these late winners, 92nd minute, 96th minute, quite fancy Sunderland 2-1 to beat Aston Villa, unless Aston Villa suddenly find all their goals. But I think on the basis of form, I think going to have to go with Sunderland there. Newcastle are at Bournemouth. Bournemouth been a fantastic team so far this season, haven't they? 7-5 they are to win this one. Newcastle 9-5. The epic boost is Anthony Elanga to have a shot on target. Even money from 4-6. Max bet of a tenner there. But I think, Newcastle had a big week, haven't they? They got a big trip to Bournemouth. They, of course, had the emotion of the Champions League defeat to Barcelona in the week as well. Eddie Howe's got a rotten record against Bournemouth, and I just think, Bournemouth, if Justin Kluivert's playing, by the way, he got a hat-trick against Newcastle in a 4-1 win at St James's Park last season, and an assist and a yellow card. So if Kluivert's playing, I'd be looking at him to be on my bet slip.
Yeah, that was a brilliant performance from Bournemouth last season, wasn't it? What about Arsenal City?
Yeah, what a game this is. Arsenal 10-11 favourites for this one. City 27-10. I mean, it's not often you'll get City at, close to 3-1 to win a Premier League game. But, interestingly, when they come back from the Champions League, 5 of the last 7 games they've lost, including that 5-1 at the Emirates last season. I guess it's a question of, which striker shows up. Victor Gyökeres, still those question marks around. Is he a flat track bully? This game will going to go a long way to telling us an answer to that. Erling Haaland, we know, is obviously fantastic in most games. 10 goals in 5 games for club and country. Admittedly, most of those were for his country. You get money back as a free bet if your bet builder loses Arsenal City. Loads of price boosts as well. If you're looking at a bet builder, I'm going to go both teams to score. I think City are capable of scoring here, but I think Arsenal win. I'm going to go for Calafiori to get yellow. 2 yellows so far this season. I think he'll be up against it again here. Always seems to get a yellow in the big games. Had yellows against PSG in the past as well last season. And I'll go for Haaland over 1 shot on target. May well score, but over 1 shot on target. You get impact sub on those 2 picks as well, and that's 14-1. We've got Aka boost as well, and whether you want to touch the Premier League or not, you've got Bristol City, decent favourites. You've got Barca, PSG, Inter Milan, Dortmund, all playing today. So plenty to go at, and the NFL and the F1, and of course horse racing as well, with each way extra and best odds guaranteed. So plenty to go at today.
Good stuff, Lee. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Lee.
Cheers, guys.
That was the latest odds brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, let's focus on the World Championship Athletics for a little bit. Michael Weedock, our athletics correspondent, joined us. Hey, Michael.
Hey, good afternoon or good morning to you.
Good morning. I like the fact that, just to give the impression, that you're right there, the delay on the line. I have a question. We were talking about this in the office. Oh, you are there. Sorry, Michael. I've been yelled at down the line. we were talking about athletics in the office, about how that I absolutely used to love it. And I don't, just my personal experience doesn't mean anything really for anyone else. Is it as popular as it was in the 90s? I just find because there's so much football now, my ability to watch other sports has sort of been curtailed. But is the popularity of athletics as strong as ever, would you say?
Well, I think the popularity in this country is still right up there. I mean, it's never, ever going to be as popular as football is. Football completely and utterly dominates the landscape, as you would imagine. But if you look at certain KPIs like participation, viewing figures on the television of broadcasts as well, then athletics is still very much up there. It's one of the top 5 sports in the country. It regularly rates ahead of things like golf and F1, which has kind of fallen off the radar as it's gone behind the paywall on television, for example. And I imagine the audience figures for these World Athletics Championships, bearing in mind a lot of the action's been through the night UK time and through the morning and lunchtime UK time, I imagine the ratings for it will be quite... We've seen medal for Great Britain and Northern Ireland, not necessarily the colours that were expected, not necessarily in the order that was expected either, but Olympic champion Keely Hodgkinson, she was in the 800 metres, she led into the home straight, she was overtaken by Kenya's Lilian Adira, and her teammate Georgia Hunter-Bell, who always comes with a late surge. She did it at the Olympics. She's done it again in Tokyo. She dipped on the line. So it's a bronze for Hodgkinson and a silver for Hunter-Bell. Now, anyone that's watched that race today will have seen the drama that I think lots of people who follow athletics still enjoy and still like to consume as much as they possibly can. And I'll point you as well, just to the fact that when the London Diamond League took place at West Ham's ground, the London Stadium, 60,000 people, sellout.
Yeah, now that's great. It's such an interesting career choice, I always think, of all the professional sports, because you've got the pressure of peaking at the right time. This is second to the Olympics. You've got like one shot every 2 years to really peak. So it's just a sort of a mad choice of profession, isn't it, Michael?
Do you know what? I was having this exact conversation with Adam Jamil, who, of course, was with us on talkSPORT at the Olympic Games in Paris. And he was on the books at Chelsea as a youngster, was a very talented footballer. And I said to him, why did you choose to go to athletics? You could have earned loads more money in football. And what he said to me, of course, was he became a world champion in athletics. He would never have become a world champion in the world of football. He might have earned a few more quid. And the other thing, I was hearing an interview with Danny Mills, of course, another talkSPORT pundit, former England international, played for Leeds and Man City and Middlesbrough and Charlton. Now, he's got one son that's a professional footballer and one son who's an athlete, George Mills, who's actually in action right now in the final of the 5,000 metres. And he said his son, George, the track and field athlete, trains and works so much harder than his other son, Stan, who is the professional footballer. But you're right, George has a 10-minute window every 2 years to try and showcase what he does.
And now the relays are coming up, and obviously it's in Tokyo, isn't it? Memories of Akabusi, and that absolutely glorious final leg all those years ago.
Yeah, we've got the men in the 4x400 metre relay. You've got Matt Hudson-Smith, the Olympic silver medalist, who could come into that quartet, but he hasn't looked in anything like the form that he did in Paris here in Tokyo. And then, of course, you've got the big sprint relays that are going to finish things off. And for Great Britain and Northern Ireland, no men in the sprint relays. They didn't get the baton round. Remember in Paris at the Olympics, 5 relays there, 5 medals. Great Britain and Northern Ireland. We thought those mad, bad old days of not being able to get the baton round were behind us with all the money and all the resources that go to relays now. But no men in the sprint relay. But I do think there will be a medal for the women's quartet, which will include the silver medalist Amy Hunt, along with Dina Asher-Smith, of course.
Cheers, Michael. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Wheeler there. Sorry, the line wasn't amazing, but he's quite far away. You wouldn't have anyone broadcasting on this show from a long way away, would you? Yes. So good luck in those relays. That Akabusi one was so good. Was it 91 or 93? I forget, but
I have no idea. I'm afraid.
Okay. I don't know. I'm looking at you, but someone will remember. It was great whenever it was. John Bruin will join us in just a second. We'll look ahead to this afternoon's games in the Premier League.
What do you get when some of the most individual sports stars club together? Well, a melting pot of history, tension, rivalry, friendship and elite stories. Here are some of the best off-camera anecdotes from the Ryder Cup. Number 1, Tiger's loo roll. The protagonist, Lee Westwood's former caddy, Billy Foster, said in a toilet cubicle at the Belfry. As he went to relieve his first morning nerves, Foster noticed only one of the 2 cubicles had loo roll, and while he was seated, in came a tiger into the empty cubicle, and he realised his mistake all too late. So Foster took some paper, reached under the cubicle with a rescue offering, and as Tiger went to take it, Foster uttered the words, "Europe, 1 up." As it happened, Europe did go on to win. Fast forward 10 years to the miraculous Medina, when, after a gruelling Saturday, Rory McIlroy overslept on the Sunday and was in danger of missing his tee time. Thankfully for him, the person booking player transport was Erica Stoll. She sorted him a police escort to the course. 3 years later, McIlroy proposed in Paris. The next story is told by Scottish legend Sam Torrance about the great Seve, who apparently despised the Americans mainly because of a diminutive US reporter who kept calling him Steve.
Hey, my name is Severiano or Seve. It's no Steve, it's no Steve. Next day, Steve.
Torrance also tells of how Seve regularly gave coaching clinics to his European teammates, but a week later at the Italian Open, when the same players asked for advice, Seve would tell them to and see you next year. Having started with a Billy Foster story, let's finish with one from the 12th tee at Oakland Hills in 2004. It was Jimenez and Garcia against Westwood and Clark in a practice round, and as they finished, Foster decided to jump in the buggy and speed away with all their clubs, only to lose control entirely and tumble onto the course and see it careering towards the spectators. Thankfully, the Red Sea parted and the buggy smashed into a tree, with viewers and clubs still intact.
Good afternoon. The warm-up on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. We can look ahead to the 3 games in the Premier League this afternoon and talk about wherever we want, really, with the broadcaster and journalist John Bruin. John, welcome.
Hello, Max. Hello, Barry.
Hey, John.
I bumped into John as I left talkSPORT yesterday.
Well, I believe you bump into John with such frequency, he now has you pegged as a stalker and is thinking about taking out an injunction against you.
Yeah, I was asked to come into the studio, but the court order means I can't be within a mile of you, yes. Any time I'm at a bus stop or walking past a bus stop, as I was getting off a bus yesterday,
I'm there.
Suddenly Max Rushden jumps out at me.
Nice, must be nice. I'm a nice guy. Well, you're off to the Amex.
Famous.
Yeah,
I feel famous.
You were off to the Amex. You have a nice day there?
Oh yeah, great game, really nice. Love a good game. Brighton, I suppose we're a little bit lucky to be 2 goals up, but these are called 2 great goals. And the new Tottenham, there's a bit of determination there. You know, they stuck to their task manfully and got the result. I remain hugely impressed by Thomas Frank and the job he's doing now.
Yeah. So look, there's one big game today, which is Arsenal v Man City. We are going to talk to Nicky Bandini about Arsenal, Simon Bykowski about Man City, but it's worth your thoughts, John. It's must win for both, isn't it?
Do you know what? I think like a week ago you'd have said this is do or die for Arteta. You know, you've got to get this done, and City you've got to throw down a marker by smashing past this weak City. But they won in the Manchester derby. They had a good win in the Champions League, Napoli, and you're thinking maybe they take a draw. I mean, and I suppose the big question we're all asking is how cautious is Mikel Arteta going to be in this fixture? That's what he was accused of, wasn't he, at Anfield the other week? And Arsenal got to go for it. This is their time. They've got, I think, the strongest and most balanced squad in the Premier League. Let's go for this. Let's get this done. And I think they're very capable. I've been impressed with them this season. While they haven't exactly hit the heights, it's obvious they've got so much latent strength. And, you know, they won this game 5-1 last season. It's a different City, of course, but Arsenal should be fancying a win here.
Yeah. Max, when you said there's one big game this afternoon, I presumed you were talking about Sunderland's match against Aston Villa.
My apologies to Sunderland, Villa, Bournemouth and Newcastle.
Stadium of Light. Have you been surprised, A, John, by Sunderland's pretty decent start to the season, 7 points already, and B, Villa's awful start to the season?
Okay, Sunderland, yes, of course, I've been surprised. Though... Okay, it may be a bit of a honeymoon period, but they've been both good in attack and defence. You can't really ask more than that. And this goalkeeper they've got, Robin Ruffs, is that how we're pronouncing it? Looks pretty good, doesn't he? I think Sunderland have been excellent, and I think it's good that we have another club up in the northeast in the Premier League. I wish them well. Villa, it's interesting, isn't it, that they seem to have this sort of hangover. They've got a hangover from last season, which was a big season for them in the Champions League, and then missing out on the Champions League. That defeat on the final day of Old Trafford appears to have cast a real shadow. Now, there's a lot of complaints about PSR and not being able to buy stuff, but do footballers go on the field thinking about profit and sustainability rules? I'm not sure about that.
I think of little else from.
I know Yuri Tielemans really does, but the rest of the squad, yeah,
they're all thinking about the amortization value as they, take a throw in or something. This appears to be the. They've not scored a goal, but this appears to be almost like the free pass they're being given by certain of their fans, which is, it's the Red Cartel or whatever have done this to us. No, the team are just playing badly. Now, the thing is, no one can argue that Unai Emery has done a great job at that club. But sometimes managers just go off the boil, and he's gone off the boil at other clubs, and he always, at the clubs, when he was at Sevilla, when he was at Villarreal, there was always this churn of players. And if you can't do it without a churn of players, well, what happened to the settled team? And it's not as if there isn't a lot of quality in that squad still. it's just not happening for them, and there's a sort of they're sort of turning in on themselves, aren't they? And it's sad because I really enjoyed them in the Champions League last season. I thought they really lit up the competition and ran PSG very close, didn't they?
Yeah, and look, they had Rashford and Asensio, didn't they? And they haven't really replaced them necessarily. And look, Rashford was the scourge of Newcastle. And that second goal, I mean, both goals were great. I heard Dion Dublin going, "It's a pretty easy header." You know, maybe Dion can say that. For the rest of us, like, it's quite a tricky header. But the second goal was brilliant, wasn't it? But Newcastle got a Bournemouth today, and they haven't started the season brilliantly. And Bournemouth have started the season brilliantly, John.
Yeah, I mean, Bournemouth. Andoni Iraola could almost write out his own cheque for whoever to play, to be a manager. They replaced their defence. I mean, this is last week they had an 18-year-old Serbian defender. I'm going to try and pronounce his name, Veljko Milosavljevic, and it was very impressive. I mean, and they're one of these clubs, aren't they? And these clubs do hit a glass ceiling at a certain point where they're the flavour of the moment. They're buying every player they buy seems to work out. And I was at Brighton yesterday, as you know, and suddenly not all of those players work out, and it becomes a little bit more difficult. But Bournemouth are in that sweet spot at the moment. Iraola's an excellent manager who players clearly love to play for. And they're up against the former manager Eddie Howe, who have previously you would have said that of Bournemouth players, that he got Bournemouth. Yeah, he created almost Bournemouth as a club, didn't he? And I suppose Newcastle's big problem is that they've been involved in some big games this season and performed pretty creditably in all of those games, but ended up on the wrong side of them. The Liverpool loss, the Barcelona game. And it's whether they can get themselves up for a game like this after that rush of emotion that we saw at St James's Park the other night.
John, thanks for coming on. Oh, just quickly, Graham Potter's in the headlines at the moment. Do you feel this sort of air of inevitability, which sort of we've all felt since he got the job, if we're being honest?
Yeah, there's been no improvement. I mean, Graham Potter, we're beginning to wonder, aren't we? Like, his reputation he waited so long after losing the Chelsea job, where he was given mitigation there because Chelsea was a bit of a basket case at the time, and it just hasn't happened. Now, you could say that West Ham is a basket case club too, and that may be the issue, and that whoever goes in has got a problem. But something about he doesn't really sell himself well, does he, Graham Potter? In anything, if anything, he's sometimes a little bit too honest as well, and maybe there's no room for honesty in this game. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. Hey, thanks for coming on, John. Appreciate your time.
Cheers, chaps.
John Bruin there. A couple of games kicked off in the WSL. It's Brighton 0, West Ham 0. At Kingsmeadow, Chelsea playing Leicester. Moose is watching for talkSPORT. Been an early goal.
Chelsea 1, Leicester 0. Goal on 7 minutes, scored by Aggie Beaver-Jones. Neat play in and around the edge of the penalty area. Back heel, and suddenly Beaver-Jones in on goal, and she was never going to miss. We've played 12 minutes here. We had a wreath laid and a minute's silence in tribute and honour to Matt Beard before the game. His former club are in front as well. Chelsea 1, Leicester 0.
Yeah, I just read a really nice tribute from Flo Lloyd Hughes as well on Matt Beard, who's clearly his loss has been felt hugely in the women's game, and the Liverpool game's been postponed today, as has the Burnley one as well. We can go now to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Piers Pryor is watching for talkSPORT, and Piers, I'll be honest with you, I'm not an expert. Has it started? Where should know these things. Where are we at? Is it nearly the end? Are we qualified? Just Barry knows a little bit more than me, but but you could just fill in the gaps, and I'll try and I'll muddle along.
No problem. That's why I'm here. It's okay. You don't need to worry about it at all. Yeah, it's the race has literally just started about 5-10 minutes ago. Drama already. It was a chaotic weekend already, actually. Qualifying yesterday, 6 red flags due to the wind, drivers crashing left, right and centre. Max Verstappen somehow slaps it on pole. Both the McLarens who are in the championship hunt, 7th and 10th, Norris and Piastri, after Piastri crashed on his lap in qualifying. But then in the start of the race, already Norris had an opportunity to get points because Piastri's crashed out of the race as well. So drama already. Safety car came out due to the Piastri crash. Norris still in 8th position. Max leading from Sainz and Lawson, which is that jumbled grid that we had. Just ending now, so I'll keep you updated as things go along throughout the day.
I have a question, Piers. You may not know the answer to this, but the safety car driver, I mean, that feels like a good gig, doesn't it? Is that the same person who just goes around the world driving a Ford Sierra quite slowly around a racetrack? Or does Azerbaijan have its own safety driver, and then when we get to Bahrain, it's someone else? Do you know?
Session safety driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a full job. It's Bernd Mailander is the Formula One safety car driver, drives the Aston Martin safety car. So it's a bit better than a Sierra, but it's he travels around, former racing driver, but he very much has to be on the ball, ready to come out whenever there's an issue and follow a lot of procedures. But yeah, it's a pretty tasty gig, I think.
That is a gig, isn't it, Hart? Because you don't have to be good, right? Anyone could. Like, I've driven around a racetrack slowly. Bernd Mailander, he's 54. Yeah, he started his career in car, but he's got pedigree. They haven't just found like an old, Jeff from Baku to do it.
No, absolutely. Well, I don't imagine there's many Jeffs kicking around the streets of Baku, are there?
No, you never know. It could be very. They loved Biker Grove in Azerbaijan back in the 80s. That's just so many. There's a plethora of Jeffs around 30 years ago. Look, thank you, Piers. Keep us posted, and thanks for putting up with my. Sort of tragic, terrible lack of knowledge of Formula One. But you've got to be honest.
You wear it so proudly, Max.
I believe in honesty in broadcasting.
Yes.
Above anything. We'll play the footballer game next. Above anything. Yeah. And there are lots of bluffers around who pretend they know everything. And I'm not here for bluffers.
Right.
I'm here for people. If you don't know
your stuff... you sound like Roy Keane.
Not here. This is talkSPORT we're talking about.
talkSPORT!
Yeah. So that's just how I feel about it. I'm happy to... look, you can't know everything. People who pretend they know everything and have strong opinions about everything.
What there's a lot of it about?
I'm mentioning no names. I don't believe a word they say. So you can guarantee from me, if I don't know about something, I'll be honest. And I think that matters. Thank you to Travis Perkins for sponsoring this show. Doing what matters for the trade. See, I wouldn't pretend to know about the trade. I don't know. I don't even have a ladder. Paul Hawksby didn't believe me that I didn't have a ladder. I haven't got a ladder. Find out more. You've got a ladder? Well done. Do you want a medal?
No.
Okay.
I've got a ladder.
Many congratulations.
I'm better than you.
You win. In many parts of life, maybe I win. But on ladder ownership, you are right up there. Travis,
it's quite a short ladder. It's only a step ladder.
Fair enough. A step ladder's better than what I've got. If you've got a bigger ladder than Barry, let us know. It's not a euphemism. TravisPerkins.co.uk or download the app. Jack writes, I used to drive a burnt Maitland. I often took it for camping trips. To James Forrest, he says, Dan says, a plethora of Jeffs, a Jeffera. It's very nice, isn't it? Matt says, I've got 2 ladders. All right, Matt. Yeah, no.
Matt, one-upmanship from Matt there.
Exactly.
2 ladders.
Well, we're looking for more than 2, please. If anyone's got 3, let us know 8 anytime. Paul says the safety car is still going at something like 60 miles an hour around corners and 150 on the straights. Just looks slow as the F1 cars are going about 60%. Driver isn't sat watching something on the telly with a fag in hand, says Paul, the Man United fan in Rochdale. There we go. We're all learning, aren't we? I don't reckon anyone's ever asked about the safety car, so I feel quite proud of myself.
Well done.
Thanks so much. Ready for the football?
Still don't have a ladder.
No, of course. No, I wear that proudly as well. So my lack of knowledge of...
Do you have a drill?
Yeah, got a drill.
Okay.
But Mrs. Rushden does most of the drilling because I don't quite have the... You've got to be quite forceful at the start. Yeah. I'm a bit wishy-washy with the opening gambit of the drill, but she's she makes the boxes in our house. Jim says, slagging off people with strong opinions is probably one of the reasons why you don't have a magnet. Thanks very much. Let's play the footballer game. Who's playing? Mickey Gray's playing. Hello, Mickey. Hello, Mickey Gray.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear. How are you, Jim?
Really helps
right?
radio if those things are happening. I'm very good. And how's like? Where do we find you?
We're at the Stadium of Light today.
Home.
Yeah, you see there, Barry. I bet you wish you want to be here, don't you?
I would love to be here. Yes.
What a start to the season.
Even.
Yeah.
Have you heard, Mickey? Max doesn't own a ladder. Imagine that.
Well, I don't actually.
Oh God! Actually, now, do I want to be like Mickey? And why? Okay, fair enough. We're a team now, Mickey. We're part of the No Ladder Brethren.
Yeah, well, you've got a drill. I haven't got a drill either.
You haven't even got a drill.
Yeah, I was wondering where you're going with that part of that conversation.
I understand.
When you said, you need to be forceful at the beginning.
You do.
Yeah.
Yes. Come on,
Right, okay.
Come on, Mickey. There are other shows for that kind of smut. We're better than that. We're better than that here.
I'm not.
Do you have to get someone around to change a light bulb, Mickey? Where's your...
No, I'm not bad at that. Yeah, but putting TVs on walls and fixing cupboards and stuff like that. Yeah, it takes me a couple of days to do stuff like that.
Fair enough. Alongside you is Paul Mitchell. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you very much. How are we, guys?
Yeah, good. I feel this is your footballer game debut.
It is, yes. Yeah. Never been here before, so nice to be here. I do own 2 ladders, if that's
big talk from
He's
Mitchell.
Posh, Paul, isn't he? Hey?
He's Scots lads, that's what it is.
I don't know if owning 2 ladders is posh. It's not like Lamborghinis. I don't think. Maybe the opposite. You, Mickey, and I, we just have people to do that sort of thing for us, whereas Paul Mitchell's a man of the people.
He is. He said he's came here for a bit of fresh air this morning.
Fair enough. Now, listen, the footballer game, Paul, can make or break careers. Like you can leave on a high, but some people say make absolutely no noise at all. How confident are you?
Let's play and then I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay, fine. Well, look, there's no buzzers. Just shout if you think you know, okay? Good luck to you, Paul. The debut of the footballer game. It's a huge moment in your career. Okay, so it's me v Barry, v Mickey Gray, v Paul Mitchell. Our host for the footballers game today, as always, is Reese. Welcome, Reese.
Hi.
Out of 10, how are you?
We'll go for a 6, why not?
6, okay, pretty solid. Let's play.
Our first footballer began his career at Blackburn Rovers in 2009, staying until 2011, playing
David Dunn.
35 games, and did not score. He then moved to Manchester United, where he...
Phil Jones.
It is Phil Jones.
Oh!
Boom!
Well done. In fact, Mickey deserved a boom.
Yeah.
Very, very well done. How do you feel, Mickey?
That's the first time I've spoke on this show.
Yeah. It's great, isn't it? Such a great
I've actually done all right. I think I've won this a couple of times.
Oh, okay. Big
Last
talk.
time I was on, I was rubbish.
Okay, is Paul still there?
I'm gobsmacked.
Yeah.
I'm up against a pro.
Well, you are. Fair enough. Look, I didn't make a noise. Barry didn't make a noise either. So, look, you're in the same boat as us, and we are, 2 of the world's best of the people that play it. Okay, let's go with player 2.
Our second footballer began his career at Tooting Mitcham United in 2008, scoring 4 in 4, which earned him a move to Reading, where he stayed between 2008 and 2012, scoring once in 28 games. He went on a myriad of loans, the first back to Tooting Mitcham in 2009, where he scored 3 in 5. He was then loaned to Cheltenham, where he didn't...
Leroy Lita.
Nope, he was then loaned to Southampton, where he scored 3 in 28. He was then loaned to Colchester United in 2011, where he scored 4 in 15, and his final move was a loan move to Sheffield Wednesday, where he scored 5 in 14 before making his move to Wednesday permanent. He stayed there for 2 years between 2012 and 2014, scoring 12 goals in 64 appearances. He was then off to Nottingham Forest for the 2014-15 season, where he scored 16 goals in 50 games.
David Johnson.
Nope, which earned him the move to West Ham United, where he stayed between 2015
Mikel Antonio.
It is Mikel Antonio.
Oh, great shout.
Thanks so much. Okay, I really enjoyed that groan, Barry, from you.
No, yeah, I should have got.
You should have got it, but you didn't get it.
No, I didn't get it.
That's okay.
But I know Michael Antonio played for Tooting and Mitcham. That could have been one of the great guesses, but it wasn't.
It wasn't, because you didn't. Because it could have been one of the great guesses of our time. There we are. Yeah. Anyway, let's go for player 3.
Our final footballer began his career in the 2006-7 season at Kinterbury Rangers, where he scored 20 and 25. Then moved to Hungerford Town for the 07-08 season, scoring 5 in 30. Then off to Thatcham, where he didn't play or score in 2008, before moving on to Poole Town for the 2008-9 season, where he scored 48 goals in 42 appearances. It is Charlie Austin.
Oh, come on! Oh, come on!
Very good.
There's too much time when you hand you two.
I just honestly. I'm so happy. You've got to say that's good.
Deserves 2 points, Max.
That was good.
I just went, they're all down south. I had a thought about it. They're all down south. He's from down that way, isn't he? You know, south, southwest. God, I'm on cloud 9.
Yeah, you don't have to explain your workings.
Hey, thanks Paul. Thanks for playing. I hope you don't feel too down for making absolutely no noise during.
Well, there wasn't a single Scottish club in there, so it may have been at a disadvantage. But hey, yeah. I'll be back.
Yeah, okay, that's it. Fighting talk. Enjoy the game this afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for doing that. Mickey Graham, Paul Mitchell there at the Stadium of Lights. Thank you, Reece.
No worries.
There we go. This is from Ali McCoist. Hi, Ali. In our view, that was a magnificent save with your follow-up question regarding all the important safety car driver. Had that question not been asked, the nation would have felt that you and Barry not only didn't know about F1, but quite frankly, couldn't give a flying about F1. Yours in sport, Ali and Viv, Team McLaren, heading to Loch Fyne for lunch. Oh, nice. P.S. Like Barry, I'll be hoping for a Sunderland victory today. Thank you for getting in touch with the show, Ali.
I didn't realise Ali was a petrol head.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
No. Well, he's a knowledgeable man, but he's an honest man. He wouldn't bluff. I'm saying McCoist's not a bluffer.
You reckon?
No.
Okay.
The way you said you reckon, you think he's a fraud. You're saying McCoist's a fraud?
No, I'm not saying McCoist is a fraud. McCoist's been very busy this week.
He's always very busy all the time.
The Newcastle game. He was somewhere else on.
So chipper, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
He's very good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan.
He's a cushy gig and he does it well.
You think cushy?
Yeah.
You think he's got a cushy gig?
Oh, yeah.
What? Which one of them?
What?
Well, all of his gigs are cushy, you think? I think I think he does his work.
No, I'm not saying he's lazy.
Like you're calling
I'm not saying he's lazy.
He's a lazy fraud.
I'm just saying he's got a cushy gig going around football stadiums, sitting beside commentators, making interesting observations. And he's very good at it. He spots things I don't see. That's his job, and he does it well.
You're digging yourself out of the hole for which you can put your ladder down to get out of. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think the hole is now so deep, my ladder wouldn't be sufficient. I might need to borrow one of Paul Mitchell's too.
Let's hope the next time they just go, and now we'll join your commentators. The fraud, Ali McCoist, and Guy Mowbray, or whoever's doing it. Sam Massive. I should pick a talkSPORT one, shouldn't I? Anyway, what are we doing next? Oh, I don't know. I can find out in a second. Give me a second. Oh, Nikki Bandini. She's very good. And she will talk about Arsenal as they play Man City next.
have thought a sporting event's halftime show could have a bigger impact than the game itself. That seems to be the case with the Super Bowl halftime show. In 2024, Usher brought in an audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centerpiece of America's biggest sporting event? The first Super Bowl was held in 1967. Initially, the halftime show was a display purely for the fans in the stadium, with marching bands, dancers, and American patriotism for all to see. And that's what it was for the first few years. Disney had a go with a few questionable displays in the 1980s, but it wasn't until '93 that we got the first glimpse into the future of halftime shows. Michael Jackson's stellar performance gave NFL execs something to think about. A raft of massive names followed, including Diana Ross, U2, Janet Jackson, who gave us the most famous or infamous wardrobe malfunction of all time. So how many people are involved? To give you an idea of the scale, Rihanna's 2023 performance included 800 people, and experts reckon it cost $13 million. What's even more impressive than some of the names on the bill every year is the fact they do it for free. The artists know the exposure they'll get from doing the show will rocket them up the charts across the world. The Super Bowl halftime show will be a fixture in pop culture for years to come. So the question is, who next?
Good afternoon, you're listening to the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning with you until 1:30. Justin Morehouse here for Guest the Attendance, as always. Simon Bajkowski, the chief Manchester City writer for the Manchester Evening News, will come on and talk about Manchester City. But before, let's talk about Arsenal with a broadcast, Italian football expert, but Arsenal fan as well, Nicky Bandini. Hey, Nicky, you okay?
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, very good, thanks. Barry, John Brewer and I were talking about this game but earlier, saying, how must-win is it? And how cautious will Arteta be? The nervous, tepid Mikel Arteta. How cautious will he be today? I think he'll just go for it.
I think there's a slightly false narrative around that. I don't think Arsenal have always been cautious in these big games. I do think this game will be a fascinating one because it's completely ridiculous after 5 games to be talking about, oh my gosh, the league table, it's going to matter so much. But at the same time, you do still look at it and think with, well, Liverpool taking all the points so far, if City have lost a third game already, does that start to raise questions already about their title bid? And you do think, on the other hand, well, Arsenal are at home and they're the ones who have spent the money to position themselves to challenge this season and they're not going to want to let that slip. So the stakes do feel high. I don't think it's completely fair to say that Arsenal have never shown any attacking intent in some of these big games, especially actually, you know, even though it was in the end a very tight game at Anfield. That game, I think it was not without some attacking intent, but I do think it's going to be another occasion when we're very curious to see how both teams approach that and how much they consider the 3 points to be the priority over just not losing.
Yeah, Nicky, some Arsenal fans defended Arteta to the hilt for his approach at Anfield, and others were more critical. Do you think the criticism he got for being too cautious was unfair? Because ultimately, it was a really special free kick that won the points for Liverpool.
Yeah, like exactly. I think that's worth saying. I think it's also the line I always come back to with you guys about August football, which is my line stolen from Italian football. I suppose phrases that come up a lot about August football being a lie. I think you can't look at a game in August and think, well, this is the whole story of this team and where they are. We've seen even since then players getting integrated at Arsenal, the team's still developing. I think it was a point in the season where you're trying to work out where your team is and where your strengths are and exactly how these new players are fitting in, and asking for all-out attack against the team who you perceive as your main rival away from home is maybe a bit naive. And I think that, again, it's sometimes this slightly bombastic approach that we all have in responding to these individual games and treating them as if they're the story of the whole season, and in those 90 minutes going to tell us everything. I do think this game, perhaps we're a little bit further down the line. Both of these teams, I think, have started to find a groove of who they are and who they're trying to be. And I think you could say on the City side as well, even though it was an odd game against Napoli in midweek, you saw getting back to that, perhaps something that we didn't see so much last season, of Phil Foden being at the centre of everything and occupying that space behind the attack. So I think we're still in the very, very early stage of this season. But I think perhaps that Liverpool game in particular was so early that asking for this ideal version of perfect football in which you can attack all the time and also play well is asking a lot.
There is a lot of depth now up front for Arsenal, isn't there? If you think about, Martinelli and Trossard, who sort of been forgotten about. I mean, not totally, but, like people get excited about new signings. They come off the bench and are the key in that game in Bilbao in midweek. Saka's back in training, might be available today. Who do you think? Do you think Arteta will start with Madueke and Eze out wide?
I would have thought so, yeah. I think given fitness and given how well they're playing, I think this is certainly going to be a game where you are curious to see how much it's going to come down to the transitions. That's certainly a team that Arsenal's been building towards effectiveness in those transitions. Eze and Madueke, quite different players, but certainly both of them comfortable to take those chances to back themselves and to go at defenders. And when you look at that City defence, certainly it's the two fullback positions that you think are the most interesting to get at, right? You think about O'Reilly, who's the left back, who's absolutely looks like a quality player, but is still getting used to playing in that left back position, having played a bit midfield in his career as well. You've got Kusanov on the other side, who's moving out from centre back, and you do think those are areas that you want your team to be strongest at. And while of course you want your best player, I would say still Bukayo Saka on the pitch, when you've got a dynamic that felt like it's showing some promise, you don't necessarily want to tear that up at this exact moment and put in a player when you're not sure about his fitness, especially if you're worried about any chance of a relapse if you send him straight out there from the start. So I think with all of the talk, and I know Barry was having fun with the idea of Mikel Arteta inventing substitutions, but with all this talk of finishers and players coming off the bench and making an impact, it's not just about who you have on at the start, but I would expect to see those players who have already been starting continuing in those roles for this one, I think.
Yeah. I don't mean to ask this in a sort of sensationalist way, but I just wonder, like, if you look at the level of the teams and the depth of the squad and where it's at, it would not be a surprise for Arsenal to come second this season. Like, that would be a very likely position for them to be. And coming second is quite hard in the Premier League, right? It's a difficult thing to do, but it isn't where you want to finish if you're Arsenal. Do you think they will just always retain faith in Arteta because that is an achievement in itself, or is the pressure? How big is the pressure for him to deliver something, tangible?
I mean, I know we're not in August anymore, but this is still the fifth game of the season. I do feel like we're getting a tiny bit ahead of ourselves to be demanding these questions.
You're so reasonable,
of what
Nikki.
has to happen at the end of the season. But I get where you're coming from, and I understand this there's always been a pressure to win trophies, and there's always been a pressure if you're one of the biggest, wealthiest, biggest spending clubs to put yourself in those conversations and win trophies. And the reality is that winning trophies is really hard. And not to drag us into an Italian football conversation, but it feels salient after last season that you had this Inter team who widely were considered to be the best team in Italy that managed not to win anything because they tried to win all 4 trophies, right? They got to the final of the Champions League and got thumped. They blew their league challenge because they got a bit tired and threw a couple of games away at the end. They didn't quite win the Coppa Italia. They had this chance to do everything and they messed it all up. Do I think that Arsenal fans would sign on now for any one trophy over winning no trophies? I'm not sure even that's so clear cut, right? Would it be, if it was the FA Cup, would all fans agree that that was the trophy worth having and that was worth giving up the rest for? Would they rather see Arsenal try to compete for everything? I think with the squad they've got, they'd rather compete for everything. But if you end up second in the league again and not winning the Champions League and not winning a cup either, is that enough reason to get rid of a manager? My inclination is, with football being what it is, which is a business, that an owner would be pretty crazy to throw away someone who's getting consistent, really, really good results. But pressure does talk, and I'm certain if Arsenal didn't win anything again, there will be at least some part of the fan base that expresses frustration about that. So my inclination is still probably no, you would stick by him. My bigger inclination is we're talking about this way too early. But yeah, there'll be noise if Arsenal don't win again, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Arsenal's owners care whether he wins the league or the Champions League as long as he keeps qualifying for the Champions League. But so the only way I can see him going is if the fans turn on him. But he seems to have such cultish devotion among quite a large contingent of Arsenal fans. I struggle to see how that would happen
because
either.
Football's been really good, Barry. I mean, I understand where everyone comes from. I understand this feeling that, oh, well, couldn't he have done even better? Couldn't they have gone to Liverpool and just won 4-0? Why can't they do that? It's quite hard to do, by the way. Yeah. And I understand judging him by a fair metric, which is there has been a lot of money spent on this squad. And I think this season in particular, you have to say everything that he's wanted has been delivered. The squad is so much deeper in so many areas that the bar of expectation should go up again. I'm not trying to absolve him from that, but I do think it's also a bit, I don't know, it feels a bit unfair to turn that around on Arsenal fans and go, oh, why do you like this manager who keeps having your team playing really good football and getting to the end of the competitions?
It wasn't a criticism of Arsenal fans. It's a fact. He's very popular among Arsenal fans who will defend him at all costs.
Yeah, well, some will, some won't. But you're right, it is early. Thank you, Nikki. Always nice to chat.
Thanks.
Anytime.
Nikki Bandini there. So, yeah, Arsenal City, we'll keep you posted on that in the Sunday session. As well, we'll keep you posted on the Bournemouth-Newcastle game and the Sunderland-Villa game. And we will get team news from both of those in just a second. Hi, good afternoon. You're listening to the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning with you until 1:30. Almost halfway through the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Piers Pryor watching for talkSPORT. Verstappen in first, Carlos Sainz Jr. in second, George Russell in third. Big debate about medium tyres or hard tyres, Piers.
Yeah, absolutely. Just over halfway through. About halfway through the pit stops, that's shuffling things up a little bit. Not a huge amount of drama ever since that first update I gave you after the first lap. A reminder, Oscar Piastri, championship leader, out, crashed on lap 1. Lando Norris has a real opportunity to gain back some points in that championship battle between the two McLaren drivers, although he's not made much headway so far, just scraping on the back of the top 5, which isn't enough for him to close that gap fully. But yeah, I'll keep you updated as the pit stops complete. But yeah, Max Verstappen in a comfortable position at the moment.
Thank you, Piers. A couple of games, early kickoffs in the WSL. Brighton 2-0 up on West Ham at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea playing Leicester. The Moose has the half-time score.
Chelsea 1, Leicester 0. The goal on the 7-minute score by Aggie Beaver-Jones. Smart play around the edge of the penalty area, back heel, and Beaver-Jones in for her third of the season. Leipzig, though, in the Leicester goals, cut the score down. Some brilliant saves, actually. One from Aaron Cuthbert, and then right on half-time, Kira Walk's right-footed effort just on the edge of the penalty area, left-hand side. It was arrowing into the top corner, but somehow Leipzig managed to just tip it over the top of the crossbar. So Chelsea in command here, should push on in the second period. Chelsea 1, Leicester 0.
Let's get team news then from the 2 o'clock games in the Premier League. We'll start the Stadium of Light. Sunderland versus Aston Villa. No points in the footballer game, but he does have the team news. Paul Mitchell.
Indeed I do. 0-0 against Palace last week, but there's 2 changes to the starting 11 for Sunderland today. In come Chris Rigg, and Enzo Lafie is fit, so he'll take part as well. So Sunderland will have Roofs in goal. It'll be Hume, Mukiele, Alderti and Ronaldo across the back 4. Rigg will come into the midfield alongside Xhaka and Siddiqui. Talbi, Isidore and Lafie will be the 3 up front for Sunderland. For Aston Villa, well, plenty of changes as you might expect from the side that played midweek. 4 remain: Cash, Konza, McGinn and Gassan. So it'll be Martinez in goal, another switching goal for Aston Villa. Cash, Konza, Mings, Dignick, Kamara and McGinn. Gassan, Rogers, Buendia and Ollie Watkins returns to the starting lineup to lead the line for Aston Villa. They've had more red cards than goals in the English Premier League this season. That's never a good thing. 4 games in. We shall see how they get on today.
It'd be great if it was 38 games in and they had more red cards than goals. And they'd scored 100 goals, but just kicking everyone anyway. Mickey Gray is alongside you, Paul, and Barry has a very important question for you.
Come on, Barry.
Well, Mickey, obviously there aren't too many of the players that got Sunderland promoted currently in their best 11, and I read an interview Alan Brown did with a Sunderland fanzine, and he's gone out and loaned to Middlesbrough, and he was saying that a lot of the players who got the team promoted are now can't get in the team. They're a bit fed up with it. And have you got a sense around Sunderland that could be a problem at some point this season?
Do you know what, Barry? I actually don't. You've got to credit the players that actually did get Sunderland into the Premier League, but I think if you stand still, I think that's where sides in the past 10, 20 years have been caught out. And I think, you know, the club itself had to go out and they had to kind of pinpoint certain individual players to bring to the club. Look, nobody expected 13 or 14 players to walk through the door. But I think it's up to the players who are actually at the club first and foremost to prove to the manager that they're good enough to play in the Premier League. Trey Hume seems to have done that. Yeah. He's been a mainstay at right back. Chris Rigg, obviously, we know how talented he is. He comes into the starting 11 today. And Wilson Isidore, who was fantastic when he came to the club last season. He's been given his chance. He scored goals, proved to the manager that he is good enough. But I think you look at the rest of the side. Roefs has been outstanding in goal. He was magnificent against Crystal Palace last weekend. But other than the players I've mentioned there before, it's completely brand new. They needed experience in the Premier League. Those players I mentioned before, they've not got any Premier League experience, so you needed that. And I think with Granit Xhaka, you've got heaps of it. I mean, he's been absolutely wonderful. He really has since he walked through the door at Sunderland. And the 2 players that have been alongside him in Diarra and Siddiqui in midfield. I know Diarra's not on the squad today, but they've been excellent. And the players that are not getting a game, who were here last season, they can't have any complaints. It's up to the individual to go and perform.
Good stuff, Mickey Gray and Paul Mitchell there. Let's go to Bournemouth. Newcastle. He does have a magnet. Ollie Klink has the team news.
I do indeed. Nick Voltemade starts for Newcastle this afternoon, Max, having been benched for Barcelona in midweek. Just 1 league win so far this season for the Magpies, although they have kept the joint most clean sheets so far. But Eddie Howe, back at his old club, makes 6 further changes from that game in midweek. Out come Trippier, Cher, Bruno, Joelinton, Elanga, Gordon and Barnes. in come Hall, Chow, Botman, Willock, Miley, Murphy and Voltemada. So here's their lineup in full. It's Pope in goal. Looks like a back three of Chow, Botman and Byrne. Livramento and Hall are on the flanks with Tonali and Miley in the middle, and then Willock and Murphy are in behind Voltemada in attack. Meanwhile, Bournemouth are on fire. They're looking for a fourth successive league win and could move as high as second with 3 points today. There are 2 changes for them, both at the back. Out come Milosavljevic and Hill. In come Jimenez and Diakite. So they line up with Petrovic in goal. Jimenez, Diakite, Senesi and Truffert across the back. Adams and Scott in midfield with Semenyo, Tavernier and Brooks in behind Evanilson in attack. At the Vitality, it's Bournemouth against Newcastle.
Ollie, for all the glamour of Barcelona's visit to St James Park the other night, it could be argued, I think it is definitely the case, this is a more important game for Newcastle, isn't it?
Well, it feels like that's what Eddie Howe might have been thinking, Barry, because he had a bit of criticism in the week for not starting Nick Voltemada in that game. He talked a lot about wanting his striker to stay fit, especially because Johan Wissa is injured at the moment. And he might have looked at this game today against Bournemouth and thought that league form needs to pick up. Like I mentioned, they've only beaten Wolves so far this season. But having said that, that is plenty of changes for this game today. So it's clear that game against Barca took it out of them a bit.
Cheers, Ollie. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers, guys.
Updates then from Ollie at Bournemouth and from Paul and Mickey at Sunderland. And, of course, we'll keep you posted as well on Manchester City, Arsenal versus Manchester City, which is a 4:30 kickoff in the Premier League. Who's going to win that one, Barry?
Arsenal, Manchester City?
Yeah.
I think Arsenal win it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I do. But, I mean, I'm habitually wrong about these things. Yeah. I thought Leeds wouldn't score any goals yesterday. They got 3.
Yeah. Many congratulations to Leeds.
Yeah.
It is Max and Barry here on the warm-up for another half hour. Justin Morris joins us for Guess the Attendance. Before that, Simon Bajkowski, the chief Manchester City writer for the Manchester Evening News, will do a bit of Man City for us.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Now the whole warm-up family are here. The dysfunctional warm-up family. Rushden, Glendenning, Baker. Baker does have a magnet, though. Seen the magnets on the wall?
Magnet. I've got a magnet. My name, have I? That's nice.
You got a magnet.
Yeah.
Everyone has, except Max and I.
Everyone's got a magnet.
Maybe they couldn't spell your surname. Or maybe your surname's too long for a magnet.
No, Cascarino's got a magnet.
Cascarino's got a flipping magnet.
Yeah. You were right to almost swear.
You almost swear. Is that maybe that furious?
Where's my magnet?
Just I was a minor crow clock with you.
Okay.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but when you come into the studio and chat to each other every Saturday morning,
yes,
it goes out on the radio. I can hear what you're saying.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
Really? We were talking
and
about...
yesterday, you opened your show. I think you opened the show.
We did.
By discussing my mortality.
Well, all of us.
And how...
All of us. Who was going to live longer?
I'm going to die first.
No, I said you wouldn't. You'd
No, you said I should, but I probably won't.
Well, that's different.
I said you
Well,
were
it isn't really.
I said you were like a boy.
We all know what you were getting at, don't we?
No,
you think you're better than me, and I'm pointing at Max Rushden for the benefit of people.
He
You think you're better
carry
than
that
me.
vibe.
I don't think I'm better than you.
You do. You had 2 children. You got a wife. You think you're better than me. Well, I'll tell you something, Max. You don't have a ladder.
I think I might be healthier than you. I didn't say better.
No, you think you're better.
I don't.
Barry, I don't like you.
You probably are.
Barry, I don't like you getting this cross, Barry. I don't like you raising your heart rate this much. I worry what'll happen.
I tell you, my local pub, we've running odds on who'll die.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's nice.
And the favourite went.
Oh.
And then the new favourite went. So I think I'm inching close
up the list
to favouritism.
Wow,
in the pub Deadpool.
Wow, what a local that is.
Yes, 2 till 6.
What are you doing here, Charlie?
2 till 6. I'm on Virgin Radio.
Oh,
it's
yes.
the sister station to talkSPORT.
Yeah.
And we play indie bangers, and I let you know the football scores. It's fun. And I also do a thing called Baker's Dozen, which I come up with a random topic, and I tell you my 12 favourite things on that thing. And then the listeners provide the 13th, because the Baker's Dozen is, of
good
course,
feature.
13.
What are they today?
Slow things today. 12 best slow things. A couple of listeners already have got in touch. A milk cart.
I was going to say the Sinclair C5.
Very nice. See, very, very nice. It triggers memories, doesn't it?
Robbie Turner.
Robbie.
A very slow target man for Games United.
Very nice. Who doesn't love a slow footballer? A slow but good footballer.
Yeah. Okay.
But there we are. So that was it. If we want to suggest those, very, very good. You'll get read out. But also, listen to what's on here on a Sunday afternoon.
No idea.
I
listen to Virgin. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Game on. Never miss a goal. Never miss a beat.
Thank you, Charlie. Right, let's look ahead to Arsenal, Manchester City in the company. No. Well, hopefully. As long as you stay alive for the next 24 minutes, Barry, then it's okay. Simon Markowski, Chief Manchester City writer for the Manchester Evening News, joins us. Hey, Simon.
Hi, how are we?
Yeah, very good, thanks. We were chatting. We've been chatting about this game quite a lot. It's a big game this afternoon, and sort of wondering how must-win it is for either side. How are you portraying it in your paper?
Yeah, it feels a bit more must-win, given that Liverpool keep winning. 5 from 5 for them feels fairly ominous already. I think it's more must-win for Arsenal than it is for City, in the sense that Arsenal are more expected to challenge for the title than City are. City obviously should be challenging for the title, but they were a lot worse than Arsenal and Liverpool last year. So City will be firm underdogs for this game, which is a sort of position they're not used to being in, but one they've got to get used to.
Yeah, and that is interesting. With the expectations, because I predicted them to win the title, just sort of muscle memory. They'd all just remember how to be good at football. But I suppose there's been quite a bit of churn, hasn't there? Well, where are expectations then for City fans?
They should be challenging for the Premier League, for the Champions League, but at the same time, there's an expectation that there has been a lot of churn. It's a new team, and some of the problems from last season are still not gone. Everything looked great when they beat Wolves 4-0 on the opening day, and then they lost at home to Spurs, they lost at Brighton. So they've had a good few days, beating United in the derby and then beating Napoli, but Arsenal are probably at least one level above anyone they faced this season. So it's going to be a big test today to see where they are.
There's been player churn, and there's been a bit of churn behind the scenes as well, because Pep has changed his backroom staff. Pep Linders and Kolo Toure have come in. Have you noticed any conspicuously different way of playing at City this season?
Well, it's quite funny because they beat Wolves on the opening day and there was high pressing and a high defensive line, and all the fans were like, this is Pep Linders, this is brilliant, this is what he's bringing. And then they got quite a few injuries, and suddenly some of the fans were like, it's too intense, this is Linders, it's a problem. I think it's important that there's been a freshening up of Pep's staff. I still think the most important person in all of this is Pep Guardiola, and he has returned with fresh energy, and I think that was much needed because last season really ground him down. But the new ideas off the pitch, and just the new energy off the pitch and the new mentality is kind of as important from the backroom staff as it is from the new signings that have come in.
Is the guy that looks a bit like Kevin Keegan still there? whenever it cut to Pep, and I'd be like, is that Kevin Keegan? And it's not Kevin Keegan. You know what I'm talking about, Simon?
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
They said, resigned in a toilet, I think. Something like that. So, it's Pep Linders and Kolo Toure, And then James French came from Liverpool to be the set-piece coach. So if they're good at set-pieces, credit James French, and if they're bad at set-pieces, James French is to blame. I think that's
I understand.
the equation.
It's a great disappointment. I always like seeing that guy.
Juan Lilo, I think his name was that?
Correct, yeah.
Yes.
Well done. So, of the new players, and that includes, I guess, some of the guys that turned up in January, who is settling best, do you think? Because I remember, Reinders played so well in that first game. We're like, oh my God, this is the future. He's the next De Bruyne. And then he wasn't great in the next two. And we go, he's a complete fraud. Such is the way that we talk about football at the moment.
Yes. Yeah. I think the interesting one is Donnarumma, isn't it? Obviously came on deadline day and was just so interesting that City decided to sign him. He did the pre-match media press conference before the Napoli game in midweek and was really good. Just talked a really good game. Admitted that his kicking isn't the best, but said, sometimes you're in situations and you just need to lump it down the pitch. And I think maybe City got themselves into trouble last season by not doing that. Certainly at Arsenal in this fixture last year, they gave away a soft goal like that. So, but more than anything, it's mentality. And Rodri's spoken this week about City need to get that winning mentality back. And Donnarumma is a winner. And I think, Ederson had kind of won it all at City. He'd won the treble. He'd had his head turned last summer. And then, some of these problems that City have got on the pitch, like at Brighton when they just collapsed, are psychological. So City need to get their head straight. And Donnarumma, I think, will be talking about a lot this season.
Yeah. And actually, I don't know if you agree with this, but I wonder if, Pep has looked at Donnarumma and looked at how, because football does change and it isn't there is a bit more physicality, it seems, more long throws, more concentration on set pieces that actually may be playing out from the back. And it doesn't mean you stop it straight away. You mix it up a bit, but maybe he's looking at the way football is going and actually saying a big lump, and actually Trafford is quite tall as well, but he doesn't have the size and he's a footballer as opposed to Donnarumma is a real shot stopper. Maybe that is a sensible way to play football at the moment because it is just a bit more direct.
Yeah, and I think as well, kind of no one can get close to Ederson. I think he got 4 assists last season in the league and, he can knock it 90 yards to wherever it needs to be. But the thing is, when you've got Erling Haaland that is so quick and so strong, maybe it doesn't need to be sort of exactly where he needs to be for you to lump it down the pitch and still maybe create a chance. So I think just they expect to be stronger from the back with Donnarumma. And I think they have just been weak for, 8 to 12 months now. And that has been physical and mental. And they brought in, a Champions League winner to try and bring that to a better place. So yeah, it is reflective of the way the game's going. But I think as much as anything, it's just trying to get kind of another winner and another guy who's coming to City thinking, I want to win everything at City, rather than someone who's already won everything at City.
Yeah. Phil Foden appears to be hitting his stride again after a spell of poor form. It's good to see, isn't it, from a City and an England point of view, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. He's a terrifically talented player. I think when he won Premier League Best Player of the Year and the PFA award in 2024, everyone thought, this would be the big launching of him for club and country, and it didn't quite happen with England in the major tournament, and then he completely fell away last year. He, like many in the City team, have questions to answer this season to say that he can be, get back to his best level, but he's also kind of got a higher ceiling than nearly everyone in the City team. That ball through for Haaland in midweek, I don't think anyone else in the City team probably could have played that ball. He's spoken this week about him wanting to be the man to replace De Bruyne, which is no tall order. So City need him to be on the ball and wanting the ball and looking like he is enjoying his football, because it really looked like everything fell away from him last year. And yeah, if he gets back to his level, then City will be a lot more dangerous.
Good stuff. Thanks, Simon. Thanks for coming on. Enjoy the game this afternoon.
Hi, Simon.
Thanks, guys.
Simon Bykowski there, Chief Manchester City writer for the Manchester Evening News. We're almost done, Barry. What a feeling.
Yes.
You feel alive.
Kind of.
Good. I mean, that was no reference.
It's another day.
It wasn't meant to be. I was just,
You'd like me to die just to prove a point.
No,
you could say, "I told you so" to Charlie.
I think you're quite a good foil for me. I think we work together quite well. I think it would be bad for me.
It's not for us to judge that.
No,
it's for others.
Right. You're absolutely right.
We don't work well enough together to get a magnet each, do we?
Listen, what you have to do to get a magnet around here, I don't know. No one's offered to bring us a magnet. Anyway, it is. We'll do guess the attendance, and then we'll hand over to the Sunday session. Sam Manterface, Perry Groves, Mickey Gray, all the goals as they go in. Game Day Live, it's now called. But it's very similar, but it's different. All the goals they go in the EFL as well, and the WSL and the Premier League. And that'll happen in about 15 minutes' time. I guess the attendance coming up in just a second. Before that, let's go to John Norman, the third T20 between Ireland and England. John, I wasn't totally aware this was happening until I just heard you in the news. I was like, oh, it's John Norman. Nice to hear from him. So the question I have, John, is can you get me 4 tickets for day 3 at the MCG?
No, but they are selling tickets for Fulham versus Cambridge United on Tuesday night.
We're taking 5,000 there.
Wow, if you want to squeeze one in, I've just had someone pull out, so you'll have to go in a Fulham shirt. But in terms of this match, it is another sellout. It was a real disappointment, actually, for that second T20. It was even some of the talkSPORT production team were at the ground, but unfortunately it rained throughout, so it does mean that Ireland can't win this series. The first match, though, was actually pretty close, if not for Phil Salt, who, again, performed so well at the top of the order. I think Ireland might well have won that match. 2 changes for England today. Jordan Cox from Essex, he comes in from St Curran, so that's a batter for an all-rounder. And Sonny Baker comes in for Will Jacks. Sonny Baker, of course, who had such a painful introduction to international cricket against South Africa at Headingley. So he'll be keen just to get in, get a wicket or two, and maybe put that one behind him. So all to play for. And unlike that second T20, which was just a deluge of rain, beautiful conditions in Ireland. It's crisp, it's clear, it's sunny, and we should get a full game. We're getting underway in about 10 minutes' time, and it's England who have won the toss. They're going to have a bowl.
Thank you, John. Just past the hour mark in the WSL. Early kick-off, Brighton 3-1 up over West Ham. Still 1-0 to Chelsea, Moose at Kingsmeadow.
Yeah, still Chelsea 1, Leicester 0. That goal by Aggie Beaver-Jones on 7 minutes. Second half really hasn't got going yet. Chelsea are trying to put pressure on the Leicester goal, but Leipzig is having a fantastic afternoon in terms of keeping shots out. At the other end, Hannah Hampton may as well come and sit with me. She's had nothing to do so far. It's Chelsea 1, Leicester 0.
She may not want to, of course, Moose, but he's gone. Anyway, let's play Guess the Attendance today. Top comedian Justin Moorhouse takes on top journalist Barry Glendenning. Welcome to the programme, Justin.
Hi, how are you? I'm going to be a little bit awkward today.
Okay, for what reason?
Speak up.
Why awkward?
Because I'm in public.
Where are you?
I'm in the alleyways of Bath.
The alleyways of Bath.
Okay, what do you do? Are you filming a detective drama? That would be the next. The Alleyways of Bath, starring Justin Moorhouse as a kind of as a gritty northern detective who's had to move down south and mix it with the posh folk. This could happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My catchphrase could be, "I'm more urgency than regency."
Oh, really good. Really good.
Call this a spa. Where's your 3 for 2 on your crisps?
Got it made already. What takes you to Bath, Justin?
So I'm down in Southwest for some shows this weekend. Tonight I'm in Warminster, which I did think sounds like a Geordie complaining about no one liking their churches as much as York's. What about Warminster?
Should we play? I've just been told we've done a lot of time, so let's get on with the matter in hand. We go to the London Stadium, everybody. West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 2. The winning goal from Tyreek Mitchell. Good old hit. Tony Harrington of Cleveland refereed the game. But how many, Justin, were at the London Stadium to see Graham Potter's misery compounded?
Yeah, 61,231.
61,231. Over to Barry Glendenning.
61,230.
62,000.
Come on.
455. It's a lot of people there, isn't it? Lee streaming out early from the London Stadium. So 1-0 to Justin Moorhouse. Barry, to you. Carrow Road. Norwich City 2, Wrexham 3. Important win for Wrexham. 2 goals for Josh Windass and another goal for Mr. Longman. David Webb of Lancashire refereed the game. But how many were there to see Norwich lose at home to Wrexham in the Championship?
I saw one of those Josh Windass goals and it was an absolute beauty.
He's a good player.
How many were at Carrow Road? 33,200.
33,199.
26,000.
I should have showboated.
Yeah, you could have done. The sadness in the sort of like exhale of just, what am I doing here? Why is this happening from Barry?
If I'm doing this, at least I'm going to get a plug-in for my brand new podcast, The Good Days Are Coming.
Yeah.
Which is being released this afternoon with a special guest, Omid Dajili.
Oh, that's good. How's it going? Yeah. Because I did think when you lost the Manchester Derby, I was wondering, are the good days coming? And does it matter if the good days don't come for your Manchester United podcast?
As you know, in sports broadcasting, what we do have is a narrative.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. You really do. You absolutely do. To Lincoln, to Sincil Bank, everyone. Seb Stockbridge of Tyne refereed Lincoln 3, Luton 1 in League One. House scored twice. Hugh Laurie now playing for Lincoln City. But how many were there at Sincil Bank, Justin?
From the Red Devil City Imps, I'm going to say 8,000. Bob on.
8,000. Bob on. Justin. Barry.
8,001.
9,255. He's in the game. It's 2-1. The excitement, it's palpable. We go to the Clondara Abbey Stadium. A famous victory for the mighty U's. 2-1 over Fleetwood. 2 goals in 2 minutes from Adam Mayer and Shane Lavery, giving Cambridge all the points and moving them up to something like 10th in League Two. Lee Swaby of Devon had the privilege of going to the home of football. But how many were there with Lee to watch Cambridge defeat Fleetwood? Barry, you need it.
5,900.
5,900. Justin.
He has learned.
Barry has learned. He is a
5,901.
5,069. It's 2 apiece. We go into the decider, and it's the Achilles heel of Justin Morehouse. Could Barry Glendenning snatch victory from the jaws of defeat? This could be enormous in the career of Barry Glendenning. Matthew McDermott of Scotland refereed Aberdeen 0, Motherwell 1 in the Scottish League Cup quarter-final. Whether they're playing quarter-finals in September, it doesn't matter. The goal scored by Mr. Charles Cook. That's his surname. I don't know his first name. Charles Cook scored the winner for Motherwell at Pittodrie. But how many were there to watch Motherwell beat Aberdeen? Justin.
It's not only an Achilles heel, you've gone for League Cup quarterfinals.
Killer. It's an absolute killer.
12,000.
12,000. Barry for the win.
11,990.
10,533. It's a win for Barry Glendenning. Thank you, Justin.
Massive.
Thank you, Barry. Game Day Live is next.